All right, welcome everybody to Total Havoc, day 2 of our divisional preview. My name is Tim Smith. I'm here with Tim Finch. Today we're previewing Soldiers of Hades. This division features Sinister Fresh, our 4-time defending champion. So let's go ahead and get it broken down for you. Tim, go ahead and get started off on your rankings for this division.
All right, in at number 1, I have Sinister Fresh. At number 2, I have Logjam Your Mouth. At number 3, I got Team Brown. And at number 4, I have Curbside Orphan.
All right, very nice. And just so you guys know, these are done completely separate. And I also came up with the same ideas. I have Sinister Fresh coming in at number 1, Logjam Your Mouth at number 2, Team Brown at number 3, and Curbside Orphan left as an orphan on the curb at number 4. Fresh, go ahead and tell me a little bit more about why you decided as your team is the number 1 team in this division.
All right, I have Sinister Fresh at number 1, mainly because they're a 4-time champion, 4 consecutive league championships, and I always go by the same philosophy: 2 solid quarterbacks, and you want to have a lot of depth in this league. It's a 13-week league, and you don't want to see a lot of teams shallow in depth. When guys start to go down, you want to make sure you have the guys on the bench that can fill in. And this team they're pretty strong at every position there. Made good trades to strengthen the roster, and stuck to plan on draft day.
Nice. I mean, I can't argue that either. When you have somebody who's won 4 straight league titles, until they've lost a season, I'm going to go ahead and give them my number 1 approval for whether it's the division or the league overall. Sinister Fresh makes great trades during the season and great acquisitions in the offseason. He's featuring 2 top 10 backs in Jamal Charles and Ray Rice, whom he just recently traded for. Again, with this type of starting lineup and the depth that he has, he's my opinion to be the number 1 player in this league. Consensus coming in at number 2, Logjam Your Mouth. Fill me in on that.
What I like about Logjam is they went strong with Philip Rivers and Matt Forte, and Wes Welker also for the New England Patriots. What I like about Rivers is he's going to get you, the 4,000 yards and the 20+ touchdowns. Forte, I think, is going to have a bounce back year this year. He can't be any worse than what he was last year. And Wes Welker is going to be solid on from the Patriots. And since it's a PPR league, he's going to get you a lot of catches, which you're going to get points for that as well. The bench is okay here. It's not solid. And what I don't like is the A.J. Green. He has the worst quarterback throwing to him in the league. Zach Miller has probably the 3rd worst quarterback throwing to him, Tavares Jackson. And he has not Lawrence Taylor, but LaDainian Tomlinson in his offensive player position. And I don't think you're going to get a lot of points from LT in a position that you generally like to see a second quarterback getting 200 points there.
Yeah, for sure. What I'd say about Logjam is, being new to the league, not sure of how much fantasy experience he has. I was impressed by his ability to go after a quarterback like Philip Rivers and get him. He has a pretty solid up-front team. Again, there's some questionable places where you have receivers getting thrown to by bad quarterbacks. But overall, I was impressed by this rookie's initial start. We'll see if he has the endurance to keep up the pace of this league. It's a 16-man league, so who knows how well he'll be able to scour the waiver wire once the season really gets going. But as of right now, I like this guy as a preseason pick for Rookie of the Year. But only time will tell when it comes to Logjam. But he's caught my eye as a newcomer to the league.
Yes.
Coming in at 3rd, a league veteran, Team Brown. What do you feel about Brown?
I like I like Joe Flacco at quarterback. I think Flacco, is not one of the top-tier quarterbacks, but he's going to be solid with his numbers every week. Felix Jones, I like as a dynamic running back out of the backfield. He's a high-risk, high-reward type player. I mean, the Cowboy running backs usually end up hurt at some point during the season, but with Felix getting, the bulk of the carries, I can see big production there. And I like DeSean Jackson at wide receiver. It's another high-risk, high-reward, and, that's kind of the flavor that Team Brown went with this year. The bench is horrid here. He has some free agents, some injuries, some empty spots, a second kicker. It makes no sense what I see on this bench. So if anyone goes down and with an injury-prone team like he has, the chances are, he's going to see someone go down. And that bench is pretty weak.
Oh. definitely, I definitely agree with her. You know, disappointing to see a veteran like Team Brown not come through and draft a deeper team. Especially with his history in the league, he does generally get players who suffer injuries, and he usually makes his way by. I am looking at Deshaun Jackson as a breakout player for him. You know, he's going to be somebody who's going to produce a lot of points for him throughout the season, as long as he's able to stay healthy. Joe Flacco, great starting quarterback, will be an anchor of his team. So Deshaun Jackson, Joe Flacco are going to be great keys to making sure that Team Brown stays afloat. Also, I think he'll manage to make the playoffs if he doesn't shave this year. As soon as the razor touches his face, it's going to be the end of the season.
That's agreed. One last thing, I don't like David Gerard here too much.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to make it through the season as a starting quarterback.
Is that due to injury, or do you feel like he's just not the best player for that team?
He's not the best player for that team. They got a quarterback waiting in the wings, and I just don't see him being capable of making it through this year.
All right. And coming in at number 4, it's Curbside Orphan. In this aspect, I'm not going to give the rookie any love. I mean, he came in, he drafted. Draft day really didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. He actually asked what DE meant. For those of you who don't know, it's defensive end, but it just, it was things like that that made me say that this guy doesn't stand a chance. I don't think he understands the concept of a 16-man league. He does have Adrian Peterson and Akeem Nicks, but these are players that were given to him, and these aren't players that he drafted himself. So it's kind of like college football, where you have a team who has the last coach's draft class and they do well. I just don't think he has what it takes to get through this league unscathed. I think he's going to take a beating throughout the course of the season.
I'm in agreement here. I like Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan, however, is a better real-life quarterback than he is a fantasy quarterback. I don't really see him matching his numbers from last year. I mean, there's a chance with Julio Jones there that he could be a little bit more dynamic, but I think they're going to use that to their advantage to open up the run more so than the pass. And like you had said, he married into Adrian Peterson. So I don't even know if he would have actually drafted a solid running back, without Adrian Peterson there. He has Steve Smith on his roster with Cam Newton throwing to him, which isn't the most solid thing. And Steve Smith was one of the worst wide receivers last year in the league. Cedric Benson's on his roster, who's currently serving a prison term.
Locked up.
Yep. And he has absolutely nothing to trade on his roster to make his team any better. Like, unless he's going to trade one of his, top 3 guys, he has no chance of, even having a successful trade.
All right, well, there you guys have it. Those are our rankings for Soldier of Hades. Feel free to leave your comments below. Next, we'll be previewing one of our last 2 teams. I believe it's Soldiers of Hermes. So stay tuned.